Start your day with purpose. Let your soul awake. On the daily ride, find strength for every step you take. A journey with Jesus, discovering your true name. His love lights your path, no day is ever the same. The daily ride, let your heart be free. Devotion every day for you and me. Understanding grows, faith comes alive, step by step with Jesus.
Hey Trail Riders, welcome back to the Daily Ride. I hope you guys are doing well. Today we're going to be talking about faith's final test. Our passage comes to us today from Galatians 3:13 and 14, which says, Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, having been a curse for us, that the blessing of Abraham might be upon the Gentiles in Christ Jesus, that we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith. The power thought for today is the sacrifice on Calvary is the ultimate sacrifice. Connecting passages for today is Mark 16:15 and Hebrews 11:17 through 19. Scriptures that get us through the Bible in a year is 2 Chronicles 32, Revelation 18, Zechariah 14, and John 17. Abraham's calling and the church's mission, God's purpose for Abraham and the church. God placed Abraham in a harsh and unfriendly wilderness, yet this was not without purpose. Similarly, God has planted the church in a challenging world, mirroring Abraham's calling. When Jesus sent out his disciples, he gave them a divine passport, empowering them to enter every land and reach all peoples. Jesus commanded, "Go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature." This directive aligned perfectly with God's promise to Abraham. I will bless you, and you will be a blessing, and in you all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. Jesus assured his followers that their own salvation was his responsibility. Their focus was to carry out God's mission for the world. The Great Commission requires believers to continue Christ's work. When the church is only concerned about itself, it loses its purpose in God's eyes and poses no threat to evil. Faith is truly active only when it is connected to God's purpose, with the foremost being to bless the families of the earth. So Abraham's test and spiritual lessons, one of the most remarkable episodes in Abraham's story, is his call to sacrifice Isaac. By faith, Abraham, when he was tested, offered up Isaac, and who received the promise, offered up his only begotten son, of whom it is said, "In Isaac your seed shall be called," concluding that God was able to raise him up even from the dead, from which he also received him in a figurative sense. The idea that Abraham would consider such a sacrifice may shock us today, but 4,000 years separate us from his world. At that time, human sacrifice was common, whereas now it is rare. Abraham was a pioneer in faith. slowly learning spiritual truths. God never intended for Isaac's life to be taken, but instead tested Abraham according to his cultural context. Such a sacrifice was considered the highest form of religious devotion in Abraham's era. Through this experience, Abraham discovered that God did not desire human blood as an offering. Instead, God's purpose was to establish a new culture where bloodshed would have no place. We are grateful that God taught Abraham about the new covenant, and thankful that that we are invited to live in the fullness of that covenant today. Our quiet time thought comes to us today from John 1:45 and 46, which says, Philip finds Nathanael and says to him, "We have found him of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write." Francis Ridley Havergal had this to say about this passage. The next thing to knowing that we have found him is to find someone else and say, "Come and see." God bless you guys. I hope you'll continually follow me here on the Daily Ride, and I'll see you on the next trail ride.
Faith comes alive, step by step with Jesus on the daily ride. The daily ride, let your heart be free. Devotion every day for you and me. Understand